So that right there, my friends, is a fully shimmed gearbox ready to go, and I can guarantee you follow this method, every single time you're going to get a clean, crispy sounding blaster, and your gears are going to last you a long, long time. G'day guys, Shaka back from Cyber Trigger here with another tutorial today on how to shim a gearbox. So this one here has come out of a SIG Rattler. This is the ENC gearbox here. Same rules apply no matter what you're doing, and we're going to be installing some 12-to-1s, SHS 12-to-1 with a Solink 39K brushless motor. So we are going for that sort of 42 rounds a second sort of thing, so something a bit quick. On this it's SSG, so single sector gear. This is the half shell method, so pretty much the only method to actually get your pinion to bevel correct. So let's get started. You can start getting your gears ready. So for this part you are going to want your basically your grip and your motor, SHS 12-to-1s. The first thing we are going to do, these screws here, basically take a 1.5mm Allen key and back them out. Now some gears come Loctited from factory. You can see that one there has no Loctite on it whatsoever. Put a little drop of red Loctite down in there. You don't need to go crazy with it, just a little drop. We're going to take our 1.5 and we're going to screw him back down. I like to use red on this because you don't ever want these gears separating. And then just same thing on the other side here. Let's start shimming. So gear 1, like this one here I've already installed with Loctite on it. The motor might have come with the pinion not on it. Just a little drop of red Loctite inside the pinion there and a little drop of blue Loctite on the thread for that little grub screw there. So just tap your pinion down. If it doesn't go down, even just gently go down, you know, don't start bashing it on because there is an ESC underneath here and it can damage your ESC. I suggest just taking a little file or a little bit of sandpaper and just a little bit off the tip of the motor shaft there, or you know, on the inside of the pinion. Not much, just a little bit, and then you know, gently persuade it back down with some red Loctite and blue on that little, I don't know if you can see that little grub screw right there, just to stop it ever coming out. Just be very careful with doing that. You can damage your motor indefinitely. So right now we've got no shims on this gear, which is your bevel gear. So pinion gear, bevel gear, and what we're going to do is just going to check for any wobble, make sure that there's no wobble and the gear is spinning without any little wobble. So if you give it a spin and there's no wobble, that's good. That's what we want. It means that there's no imperfection in the actual gear or the bushing or bearing installation from factory. So we're just making sure it spins nice and straight and even and flush at the moment. And the next thing we're going to do is take our screw for our motor grip. I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight. The grip, I've screwed it down nice and tight, so drop our motor in and screw the base plate down. Make sure that the base plate's as tight as it can go. So basically what you're going to see in there is your pinion gear, which is right there for your motor. That's your pinion gear, and there's your bevel gear. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to match up the pinion and bevel like so. So you don't want it down here, you don't want it up here either. Basically you want the teeth just, we're talking probably 0.2 of a mil, so basically flush, but ever so slightly down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flathead and this screw in here, basically screw it up or down until I see the pinion gear meet flush on the other side. See if you guys can see where the pinion to bevel meshing is. It's not focusing but the teeth are lined up with each other. It's the pinion gear is ever so slightly down this way from meeting perfectly flush, and that's just to allow, you know, you can't have metal on metal perfectly touching, you know, in that formation, because it needs a slight little bit of slack so that it can roll to the next tooth without rubbing all the way around. So this is pinion to bevel depth has now been set, so our motor is now sitting at the perfect depth to make full contact with our bevel gear. So now we're going to lock this off. I didn't use Loctite on this, so all I'm simply going to do is take a bit of a glue stick, just your standard crafting sort of glue, dab it down and in there, just to stop that base plate down in there from moving up or down while shooting, because vibration will cause it to move up and down. You don't want that motor going anywhere. Let's move on to shimming. For now we'll start with a 0.3 just to see where that sets us at. So I've got a 0.3 shim on the top side of the bevel gear. Take the other half of the gearbox, no shims on the bottom, just shims on the top of the bevel. And what we're going to do now is we are going to install these screws here, and you want to make sure they're very tight, so you don't want to be holding it, clamping it with your hands or any of that stuff. You want it as tight as you can screw it down. Now we're going to install the motor again. Screw it back down, all the way tight, same thing again. So now we're going to check. So this is too tight, so what I'm doing is checking, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but checking this gear here. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's got very slight play. So when I'm moving these teeth to the side, I'm basically checking for the gap between the pinion and the bevel itself. So one other way is you can push up on one side, hold the other side down so that it resets, and you should see it move up without being forced back this way without touching this. You push it up, it should stay there until I push it back down, then I can move it back up. That's way too tight. There is only the slightest little bit of play there, and we're looking for at least a 0.1 play there. So we did start with a 0.3 on top of the bevel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that down to a 0.2 or a 0.25. So you can see there we had 0.3, 0.1, 0.1. I'm going to screw the grip back down. So now we're back nice and tight again. Let's put our motor in. So, I don't know if you can hear it too. Our bevel gear is moving nicely. And when I push up on this side of the bevel's gear, this side should rise up. And it's pushing up by probably a slight too much, so we've gone from 0.3 to 0.2, so now I'm going to go 0.15 instead. We've done our motor's depth so that we know that the motor gear is sitting correct, and now what we've done is, instead of a big gap here with that depth, we've brought the gear up to meet this gear. And too tight means this won't move at all. Too loose means the gap between these teeth move a lot. This gear right now, when we're pushing up on that backside with the motor in, is rising up, which means we've got good mesh between our pinion gear and our bevel gear. So that's the idea of having pinion to bevel mesh, which just dramatically increases your reliability and lifespan of your gears. And this is where we start shimming this half of the bevel gear now. So basically what we want to do, 0.5 on the bottom. We don't need to put our motor back in the gearbox now. Depth is set, mesh is set. Now we just want to eliminate overall play on the gear itself. Now remember, when you're doing this, whatever the amount of play you left when the motor was in and you were pushing up on the bevel gear, however much that tolerance was, that movement was, that's how much movement you want to leave in this gear here now. So let's say you shimmed it to 0.1 play up and down like I did, but now when we have play up and down on here, and I shim it to say 0.0, 0.08 gap, and it's almost impossible to tell, but let's just say I bring it to like a 0.01 gap, or sorry, 0.05, or like a 0.08 gap instead of 0.1. Now the play isn't as much, which means that under cycle, your bevel gear isn't going to be able to ride up to its full potential mesh with the pinion gear, because you left it at 0.05 mesh between the pinion gear, but now you've shimmed the bottom side to a 0.1. So you need to make sure that those two meet each other. That play you had up and down when the motor grip was installed, with no shims on the bottom of the gear, and now without the motor in, the bevel sitting by itself, the play that we're testing for now, needs to be the same as what it was when the motor was in, if that makes sense. So right now we have literally no play. It's ever so slight that I can still very easily roll the gear, but you can't have it with no play for the reasons that I just explained. And if you don't give play somewhere, the gearbox will find its own way for play. What I'm going to do now is basically take this 0.5 off, put him back, 0.3 and a 0.1. So I know that had spin on it, so it didn't have any actual resistance on the gear, and I want a 0.1 mil of play, which is what I've left on the other side as I was doing the other side. Okay, so we've got way better play. I don't know if you can see that if I hold it. It's actually slightly on the tighter side, to be honest. So let's just, to allow the pinion to bevel to mesh better, we're going to drop that by 0.05. And with Aztec shims you can do that. So that's good. That's sort of bang on 0.1 now. So now we've got good pinion to bevel motor depth, we've got good pinion to bevel meshing, and that is our pinion to bevel fully shimmed. So that's every time going to leave a nice clean crispy sound on the blaster. From here we just got to make sure that when we do shim our bevel to our spur and our spur to our sector, that we're not allowing any rubbing between the gears, and that we're maintaining at least 90% mesh at all times between all the teeth. It's going to sit about there, so that the teeth on the bottom of both gears are at 90% mesh at all times. That way these two gears, when I do leave some slack on the spur gear here, you know, and it raises up and down, so the bottom will always stay the same, but when I shim the top of the gear setup, let's say I leave a 0.15 mil of play on it, it's going to rise, and I've got a 0.1 mil gap between these two teeth to maintain mesh. Okay, that rises up and down 0.1, but if it rises up by 0.15, by the time it rises up, it's going to be fouling on the bevel gear itself, causing a rub and a squeal within the gearbox. So pretty much that's all we're checking for now. We're just going through making sure that we're maintaining meshing with our gears. I've got a 0.3 on the bottom of my spur here. I'm going to look through this gap at this top face and my bevel gear as well. Now I can see that through this gap I have about a 0.1 mil of play. So this is basically 95% mesh between these two gears right now. I like to go straight into my sector from here. So I'm going to take a 0.5. Basically I'm looking through the gaps of these gears here. So I'm looking through the gap here, looking at the top of this face and the bottom face of the sector. Once again I can see that's about 90%, maybe slightly more mesh. For me it was just a little bit too high. I'm going to take a 0.1, so take the 0.5 back off, take a 0.1 and take a a 0.35 and bring it ever so closer together. Alright, so the bottom gears of the spur and sector are now fully shimmed, and from here basically we want to shim the top of it. So I'm just going to take a 0.35, put it on top of the sector, 0.3, take that, put it on top of the spur, and we will see where we're at. Take this top one, also screw down the top one. Alright, so I can actually feel that one of those gears is tight there. So basically I've got movement on my sector gear. Sector gear has movement, spur gear doesn't. So what I'm going to do now is 0.35 there. I'm going to take that 0.35 off and add 2 0.3s to the top. And this one here, I'm going to take off the 0.3. I'm going to drop that down to a 0.15 on top, and we'll see where we're at now. Alright, so now we've got gears are spinning nicely, but let's see what our play is. Okay, so you can see spur gear. It's moving up slightly when I push on the other side. So now I like to put my finger on the sector gear and just push up on the other side while looking through here at the mesh between the spur and the sector gears themselves. So basically pushing up on that, and you can see that the sector gear shaft isn't rising when this one does. So that means that when this is pushed all the way up, which is less than 0.1 to be honest, it's not rubbing on the sector gear. And then same thing with the bevel gear. I want to make sure that it's not rubbing on the bevel gear, and the bevel gear is not moving up when I push up on the other side either. This sector gear, probably a little bit too tight to be honest. So what I'm going to do is 0.3 and 0.3. Now we have beautiful spinning on the gears themselves as well. It's a beautiful spin. Sector is, as you can see, rising up ever so slightly. Spur, same thing. Bevel gear, same thing. So that right there, my friends, is a fully shimmed gearbox ready to go, and I can guarantee you follow this method every single time you're going to get a clean, crispy sounding blaster, and your gears are going to last you a long time. If this has helped anyone at all today, please give a like, sub, share, comment, tell us what you think about it. If there's any videos you want to see us do here at Cyber Trigger, just let us know. We are going through the process of it all and eliminating videos just to try and help the general populace when it comes to building their very own gel blaster. With this information, get out there, get at it. Have a good day everyone. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.